Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is October 27, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 172 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm gonna mention, as I mention in every video, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and the Department of State with their visa bulletin. If you found this video useful, please consider joining the membership on this channel to support it. Okay, let's start with the very first question from Daphne JH7IF. Hi sir, how are you? I petitioned for my 18-year-old in 2018. I was legal permanent resident. I became a citizen in 2020. My lawyer didn't upgrade my case with the USCIS. So in 2020, okay. Now, wow. So yeah, and they charge it to F2B. Can I now upgrade it at the NVC to immediate relative? Please give me your advice, sir. Thank you, sir. Daphne, thank you very much. It's a very interesting, unique situation. So I really appreciate your comment. Here's the thing. You became a US citizen in 2020. So in 2020, your 18-year-old was 20-year-old, still considered child. So if the petition would have been upgraded in 2020, which it definitely should have been, then it definitely would have been an immediate relative category, and you would have already had your son or daughter or your child with you here in the United States of America. So your lawyer definitely messed up big time in this one. He definitely messed up. Man, I feel really bad for you. Sorry this happened to you. Wow. Okay, so here are a few things that I would definitely recommend, right? You definitely want to reach out to the NVC. I'm thinking your case is already, because you were charged already the F2B, so I'm pretty sure that your case is already with NVC. I would recommend reaching out to NVC. You can do it. I would recommend doing it through the public inquiry form because it's the best way, it's the fastest way to reach out to NVC, and typically they are pretty quick in responding to these public inquiry forms. And I would mention in the public, I'll show you in a moment where to find it and how to fill it out. But I would mention there exactly that, and I would attach the proof that you have. I would attach your naturalization certificate to show that you were really naturalized in 2020. Honestly, it's a long shot because I don't think they can go 3 years back and say, oh, okay, you know what, we're gonna adjust it to an immediate relative, because it's just been a little bit too long over, it's just a little bit. So the only option that they might offer you to upgrade is to F1, which honestly is, right now it's not worth it anyway. Right now you're better off staying in F2B because, well, if you look at the visa bulletin, F2B is actually doing better than F1 by F2B is in September 2015 and F1 is January 2015. So F2B is like 9 months ahead of F1. So it's not worth right now for you switching to F1. But if they can switch it to immediate relative, and I don't want to give you any false hopes because it's just not gonna feel good, because it's been quite a long time, but the fact of the matter is your case should have been processed as immediate relative category. So I would definitely reach out to the NVC and I'll show you how to do this. This is the visa bulletin. I'm sure you're familiar with the visa bulletin already. This is the one for November, the most recent one. You can find this link in the description below. Just click on it. You will have this page in front of you, and from this page click on contact us. And in fact, you know what, don't even bother with any of this. I will post the link in my comment so that you just have it. And then US visa contacts, I'll show it for everybody else who's watching this video. And then in this table right here, the very first row, you will see email public inquiry form. So click on that, scroll down just a little bit more, and you will see online immigrant visa inquiries only, public inquiry form. Click that again, and here it is. Here's the public inquiry form. Put in your NVC case number here. Principal applicant is going to be the beneficiary. Principal applicant date of birth, beneficiary's date of birth, petitioner's full name, that would be you. Who are you, petitioner or beneficiary? Your email address, and then type in just like a professional cover letter, dear sir or madam, my name is this and this is my case number. Identify your case as much as possible so that they can pull the case up easily, and then straight to the point say, hey, due to, I don't know how you want to describe it, but honestly I would mention that your lawyer messed up, that they did not update USCIS, because I'm thinking the case probably have been still with USCIS back when you became a US citizen, which is even more upsetting because it could have been transferred to NVC already as immediate relative category, which would have made it, I'm telling you, like, you would have been already, it would have been done already, because, in 2020 you became a US citizen. Maybe another year and a half you would have been, dealing with becoming documentarily qualified, with the interview and all that sort of stuff, and that's it. You would have had your child with you. So I would explain all of that in the inquiry, and right here where you see attachments, I would definitely attach. You can attach. Number one thing, obviously, you definitely need to attach is the naturalization certificate. And then of course you can attach the approval from USCIS showing that it was approved, because I'm thinking it was approved after you became a US citizen, because you were already charged with F2B when it was transferred to the NVC. That's kind of where I'm coming from, and send it to them. Another thing I would also recommend doing, I don't think it's gonna help because now the case is with the NVC, but you can send a cover letter to USCIS and let them know. But again, I don't think it's gonna do anything because the case is already with NVC, so it is really at the discretion of NVC whether they do want to update it or not. Also, I would recommend reaching out and finding another immigration attorney. This attorney completely messed up, honestly. Usually I try to be very careful at, because, I don't know the situation. They are filing for your case. This situation might be different. But honestly, in your case, it sounds very straightforward. You became a US citizen. The case was with USCIS. And your child was under 21 when you became a US citizen, which makes it immediate relative category. And 3 years later, you're dealing with F2B. It's honestly, that's very upsetting. I'd be really upset. Honestly, I would go and I would fill out a complaint with a local, your state's bar association, file a complaint against that lawyer because they made your case last 5 years now. And if NVC does not update, this is how serious it is. If NVC does not update your case from F2B to immediate relative category, which honestly, I don't think they will, because, it's just been too long. But as an F2B with a priority date in 2018, let's take a look at the visa bulletin. F2B, right now they're on September 2015. So you're roughly looking at another 3 years. Another 3 years to wait to see your child because of an attorney. I don't even know what to call that attorney. Horrible attorney. Absolutely disastrous attorney. Daphne, I'm very sorry you're dealing with this. And I really, really hope that I'm going to pray that the public inquiry form that you send reaches somebody who is understanding and compassionate at the NVC, and they read it and they actually feel the same way I feel for you right now, and they actually do something about it and correct it. Correct what the attorney messed up. And please, Daphne, if you can, come back to this channel and let me know the update on your case. I would really, really appreciate it. Here's the link for the public inquiry form. And I really, really pray that it works out for you, that NVC fixes it. So as you can see, guys, it's when you hire an immigration attorney, that's how it is. You really need to stay on top of your case. You can't just let it go. If you do let it go, things like this happen. You can't let it go. Like, you have to be on top of your case. You have to know everything about your case. And if something doesn't look right, don't just trust that, oh, well, I have an attorney, they will take care of it. No, they won't. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Wow, it's not an easy start for the day. Let's move on to the next one from Sunrise. Sunrise, thank you so much for another comment. Appreciate it. As you can see, Sunrise is one of the top commenters on this channel. So Sunrise says, my mom passed away in October 13. My condolences, Sunrise. Very sorry to hear that. She was the petitioner for my brother, and my brother was documentarily qualified in August. Shall we inform the USCIS or NVC? My dad and I are the household, and my nephew is a joint sponsor who can be the substitute sponsor, and what form we have to submit and where, or we need a lawyer. Please help me because I'm overwhelmed after my mom died and sad for my brother. He has been waiting long time, and I'm afraid if they revoke him. Wow. Yeah, definitely not an easy day today. Sunrise, I'm very sorry to hear that you're dealing with this. You've been, keeping me updated on your case, and we kind of expected this coming. So yes, one of the things definitely you do need to think about the substitute sponsor. In most of the cases, there is, they had a new law passed and this and that, but it's all a joke, honestly. Whenever it comes to this, it was all politics, okay? So just like it used to be before, whenever it was like 10 years ago that the petition dies with the petitioner, for the most part, unfortunately, it is still the same way. There are a couple of exceptions. You might be able to take advantage of them. The first exception is not going to work for you because it's for widows of US citizens, so it's not going to work for spouses, US citizens. But the number two is more so of a humanitarian, but there is a requirement there that the beneficiary, they had to reside in the United States in order to take advantage of that. But regardless, I would still work on finding a substitute sponsor just in case. I would definitely reach out to an immigration attorney. Please, for everyone, when I say reach out to immigration attorney, I say reach out to an immigration attorney that by the standards, okay, that I have recommended in one of the videos. I know it sounds, it doesn't sound very humble, but I'm saying that from, 15 years of dealing with immigration attorneys. I've dealt probably with at least 15 immigration attorneys throughout those 15 years of my own immigration. So I've been through horrible attorneys, and I've been through amazing attorneys. The attorneys that were just, saved the day for me. So there are most of the attorneys will not be very good. Some of them will be really, really bad, and a very, very small percentage will be the ones that you need. Okay, so be diligent at finding a good attorney. Don't just fall for the random one, for somebody random recommended or something along those lines. You do the research, you find a good attorney. In your situation, Sunrise, right now a good attorney is going to be night and day. You do need a good attorney right now. As far as updating USCIS and NVC, your case is with NVC right now because your brother was already documentarily qualified, so you definitely do need to update NVC about the situation. Use the public inquiry form. I'm gonna post it in the link in my comment as well. Use that. You don't really need to attach anything to public inquiry form just yet, but in the cover letter itself here in your typing up your letter, your message to NVC, definitely mention that you do have someone who is willing to be a substitute sponsor and the petition, and that you are still planning to continue petition, and hopefully they will allow you to continue with this petition. Worst case scenario, what might happen is that NVC will send the petition back to USCIS, and then you would have to be dealing with USCIS, and it might be, you might be in a situation where the whole brand new petition needs to be filed completely, from the scratch, by your dad, or by you yourself for your brother. But honestly, if I would, if you have to file another I-130, I would definitely recommend filing both just in case, because if your dad files the I-130 petition, again, it will take some time. You file the petition, it's going to take a really, really long time. If you are a US citizen filing for a sibling, it takes the longest, F4 category. But as a backup, just in case, to have that. But again, Sunrise, very sorry you're dealing with. Hopefully you can resolve it. Definitely start looking for a good attorney, and definitely send an update to the NVC, because if you don't, and your brother ends up going for an interview, it will come up regardless that the petitioner passed away, and then it's not going to be good. You definitely don't want to be in that. Your brother doesn't want to be in that situation. Okay, let's move on to the next question comment from Augustine O'Day Mensa 6168. M. Ghanaian 2231. My date of filing was March 2007. I don't know what 2231 is. My date of filing was March 2007, and I became documentarily qualified in March 2021, and it's F3. Please, when I should expect the interview date? Okay, so let's take a look at the visa bulletin for F3. Right now we are on January 2009, and you have filed yours on March 2007. So you are 2 years ahead. So you're 2 years ahead, and you're from Ghana, so you should be in all chargeability area. Looks like you are 2 years ahead. So your immigration visa should already, your immigrant visa should already be available. So if you were documentarily qualified 2021, I'm thinking maybe you had some kind of delays in the case, but if not, maybe U.S. Embassy in Ghana, they're just busy. But I'm thinking you should be really, really close, like literally any moment now, because you're 2 years ahead of your priority date. A little bit more because you're in March 2007. One thing you can do is you can reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Ghana and actually let them know that, hey guys, my priority date has been current for over 2 years now. I'm in F3, I'm documentarily qualified, waiting for an interview. I want to see when the interview was scheduled for. A lot of times they don't give you the answer to that question, but sometimes they do. So you can find Ghana, usembassy.gov, there you go. For whatever reason, this website usually takes some time to load, at least on my end. Not sure why. But I'm gonna find you the US Embassy in Ghana. It shows their phone number. Call that phone number, be polite, be professional. Don't be upset if they don't tell you when your interview is scheduled for, but I'm thinking it is already scheduled. All right. The only reason why you didn't get when the interview was scheduled for is because they have to send the notice of an interview 30 days before the actual interview. They can't send you it earlier. Sometimes they do 60 days ahead, but most of the times it's 30 days. So there you go. Here's the US Embassy contact information from Ghana. Hopefully they can give you the answer, but you should be really anytime now for your interview. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Looks like a couple of questions from Roxana McConnell 665. I do not understand why they allowed her to do all the steps. Physical fingerprints and going to the appointment. Okay, it doesn't sound good. Question is, my granddaughter, son, and two more went to the interview when they give the immigrant visa to 3 of them, except to my granddaughter, because the consulate said she was already 24. Wow. And they allowed her to do the physical fingerprint and going through the appointment. Wow. That is so messed up. I don't know what's going on today, but today is a difficult day. Roxana, I'm very sorry that you're going through this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Well, here's the thing. There's really not much you can do, because it's really sad that they dragged her along so long. They didn't just say, no, I'm sorry, we can't, and you have to file a separate I-130 petition for your granddaughter. In that case, you wouldn't have been waiting for all this time, and she wouldn't have to go through all of this the physical. So she went through, got all these vaccinations, all this medical exam, and she got all the background checks. And just to get a no, that is ridiculous. Okay, so Roxanne, you're gonna have to do some. You're gonna have to do some fighting. Honestly, one thing, number one, I would definitely recommend an immigration attorney. You definitely want to find a good immigration attorney. Since we are talking about immigration attorneys so much in this video, I will just mention it here. I have a separate video on this. Please watch it. Basically, I'm talking about the things that that you need to look at whenever you're shopping around for a good attorney. And one of the things is you want the attorney to have a free consultation. The attorney is not going to agree with me, of course, because they will be like, oh, we're wasting time, this and that. We don't want to do that. But here's the thing. An attorney who offers a free consultation, they have nothing to hide, and that's the kind of attorney that you want. You see, a good attorney, they have nothing to hide, They don't need to lure you in, right? So you pay, $200 for a consultation. Now you're already $200 in. You come in for a consultation, you get a, 20% answer to your questions, basically luring you in to sign a contract to hire an attorney before you can get all the answers. You don't want to be dealing with attorneys like this. These are not good attorneys. Good attorneys will completely explain from the beginning to the end what the process is going to be like. Obviously, they can't give any guarantees. No attorney will, if an attorney is guaranteeing you something, that's not a good attorney. They can't give you any guarantees, but they can describe from the beginning to the end what exactly will happen, what needs to be done, if you have any options or if you don't have any options, everything from the beginning to the end. And then once all of your questions are answered, now okay, so first of all, this attorney knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows what exactly needs to be done. You can make a decision to hire them or not. Also regarding the fees, all right, you want to make sure that you look over their fee schedule. Are they charging you by the hour? Are they charging you per case? Because I cannot tell you how many times I've seen an attorney say, oh, this whole process is going to cost you, $4,000. And then you call them with a question and all of a sudden you get a bill for $500 because you spent, 30 minutes on the phone asking questions about your case. You would think that this should be part of the initial because it's per case, but no. And then you get another bill for filing papers. And then you get another bill for showing up at the hearing. And this just keeps accumulating and accumulating. And you definitely don't want that either because, these are people that are just trying to get as much money out of you, and not really help you with your case. It's kind of like with a doctor. You wouldn't go to a doctor that just wants to take as much money as possible out of you, even though most of the times that's the doctors we have these days, unfortunately. But it's the same thing with the attorney. You want the attorney who is compassionate, who wants to help you, who is in the immigration field because that's where their heart is. That's who they want to help. People who are immigrating and dealing with exactly problems like Roxanne right here, Sunrise, Daphne. That's the kind of attorney that you want to work with. But Roxanne, back to your situation, and looks like there are more comments. I'm gonna read the rest and then I'll come back to Fee Andres. What I can do, it was inhumanity they did to separate a young girl from her family like my son and me. Absolutely, it is. My granddaughter went to her interview with my son and they told her they can give her the immigrant visa because she's 21 years old. My question is, and the appointments she showed incomplete and asked for resuming her DS-260 aging. She did the physical and photos and fingerprints. She went through all this. We wait with my son and family more than 20 years for them to said her she was old. Wow. Yeah, Roxanne, you definitely need to prepare to do some fighting. I would not let this go so easily. I would not just go ahead and file another. I-130, and I would keep fighting because this is ridiculous. It is inhumane. It is absolutely inhumane, absolutely horrible what they did to your granddaughter. So immigration attorney, that would be one thing. Number two is I would start doing research on where you can reach out, basically going up the ladder. If you have submitted a public inquiry to the NVC, if you didn't, wait for a consultation with an attorney, because most likely that's what they will have you do, is submit a public inquiry, or maybe they will submit a public inquiry on behalf of you. But if you are working with an attorney, all of the stuff they should be doing, basically, obviously, together with you, coordinated with you, but on their own. They know what to do. But we're talking about, first of all, reaching out to the NVC with a public inquiry. Most likely they will respond with something boilerplate, but you do need to reach out to them beforehand anyway. Then I would look into reaching out to elected officials, that is governors, senators of your state, and seeing if anybody would be willing. A lot of times they do. A lot of times they want to take on cases like this, where it's a clear injustice that is done to a person. They're politicians. That's what they strive on. So you definitely want to try to find someone like that who will be willing to take on this and fight for you. And I'm saying this from experience. I did have a senator who actually helped me get something, an employment authorization document. That's what it was. Employment authorization document that I couldn't get for like 2 years. And it was ridiculous, why I kept being denied. It was ridiculous, it's hard to explain it in the video in like 10 seconds, why it was bad. It was really bad. And the senator helped me get employment authorization document. They reached out from their office on behalf of me to USAS, and USAS, they approved it. So don't give up the fight, because this is really ridiculous, and it's been way too long, and you definitely don't want to go through another, because if you do file for her right now, as a 24-year-old, you're looking at F1 category, best case scenario, and F1 category is like another 8 years, which you've been already waiting for 20 years. Why would you need to wait another 8 years? It's ridiculous. Roxanne, I'm very sorry. Please, if you can, keep me updated, and I'm sure everyone on this channel would be interested to hear the updates on your case. I'm gonna post the response here as well, so that you're aware. But I would definitely, get ready for a fight, and you definitely want somebody knowledgeable, compassionate in your corner, who is an immigration attorney, okay? Because the fight is on, and I'm sure you can do something. Even if an attorney, you reach out and some attorney tells you there is nothing you can do, don't give up, because she's been through all of this. You can't let this go just for no reason. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's do last question for today from Fee Andres 5884. Sir, I'm in the Philippines F2A category, documentarily qualified. We have email from NVC. They say that we are in line. Now, do you think we have interview this year? Priority date December 12, 2019. Thank you. God bless. Fee Andres, thank you so much for the question. So let's take a look at F2A. So your priority date is 2019 December. So let's see, visa bulletin. F2A, so you're 2019 December, right? December 2019. Okay, and we are right now on February 2019. So you roughly have another 9 to 10 months before your priority date becomes current, before your immigrant visa becomes available. So no, I don't think you're gonna have this year. I would think you're looking more realistically at the middle or middle to end 2024 before your interview date, because you do have to have your priority date current, because that's when your immigrant visa becomes available, and only after your immigrant visa becomes available, you can have your interview scheduled. So let me post the answer here. Thank you very much, everyone, for asking your questions today. I didn't get to a lot of people. It wasn't easy questions today, unfortunately. So Daphne, Sunrise, and Roxana, if you guys can, all three of you, not easy situations, definitely not easy situations. Hopefully my answers were helpful, but in all three situations, I would highly recommend an immigration attorney. But again, a good, solid immigration attorney, not just a random guy like Daphne had, guy or woman, I don't know who that was, who did not update the case for an 18-year-old. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, but that's how it is. You unfortunately, that's part of the deal with the when you're dealing with the immigration, that's part of the deal. So hopefully you guys can resolve it. Keep me updated. I'm sure everybody on this channel would be interested to hear the updates. Hopefully you can resolve it. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully my answers were helpful. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.